Okay, so I have another video. Thanks for joining me. This video is going to be about, God, something that just came up here yesterday, but I've been working on this idea for quite a while actually, the past several months. I wanted to kind of bring this to you very quickly because of this new information that just came out yesterday, and I was completely blown away by all of it. So, without a further ado, let's get into it. Um, Basically, this is going to be kind of a mixture of both the light side of the coin, as you saw in my first video, and the dark side of the coin, as you saw in my second video. It's going to be a kind of two, both going on here, the first half and the second half of this video. Hopefully a lot shorter. That'll be a lot nicer to have. So when I'm talking about the light side of the coin, again, that's the parallel of what God is doing. Okay, what God is doing in the signs, in numerology, and just so many different things. But I'm just covering certain areas of it. I can cover a lot more. I'm covering certain areas of this for certain reasons, and I'm leaving it at that. Okay, so the second area is the dark side of the coin. The second half of this video is the dark side of the coin, and again, that parallels what God's doing with what the enemy is doing. And I said in my first two videos, and especially in the second video, the enemy is basically counterfeiting what God is doing, and he's bringing a parallel to what God has already figured out way ahead of time. And it's crazy how the enemy works this and tries to make it his own and copies what God's doing and is in his own way. I apologize, I have a little bit of a throat thing I've had for a little while. I've had a cold a couple weeks ago, and it just will not go away. So if I cough or something, please forgive me. So, Father, I want to start off with just thanking the Father right now. Father, I just thank you right now for your goodness, your graciousness, and all this. And I just pray that each person that sees this, and you would open their eyes and their minds and their hearts with understanding, and that they would see what's going on here. Okay? That my heart and your heart is to bring people to God, and not only that, but that they would be saved. They would be fulfilled, and they would see how wonderful God is by his, his wonderful handiwork that he's doing all over the place. So there's so many ways that we receive things. So Father, I just thank you for blessing each person that watches this, and hopefully reveal your truth. In the name of Jesus Christ, I just thank you for opening the eyes of believers and unbelievers, anyone who sees this. And I would also pray that each one of you, would you please share this with as many people as possible, especially people who are on the West Coast, who are in Hawaii, just almost anybody, but those people especially, because of what's coming is going to be crazy. Now, I am conflicted here. I have two parts of me going on. I have a part of me that is just, I'm blown away. I cannot believe what God does. And I'm excited about things. The other half of me, it almost won't let the first half of me get too excited. It won't let me really stay in the joy because it so depresses my heart. And I've cried about this stuff several times in the last few years. Like I've said, it is horrible. I mean, we're talking about millions of people dying coming soon. And I don't like to focus on any of this stuff. I'm trying to help people to see this so they can find a way out, so God can rescue them. What's coming is it's just undescribable. It's absolutely indescribable. So I'm going to move right into this, but this is my first graphic, but I'm going to get into what this is. So, like I said in my first video, there's parentheses. The parentheses are July 13th through August 11th, and then that colon in the center, which was the main event that basically said, warning, warning, was July 27th through 28th, the lunar eclipse, which is blood red. And again, right by the lunar eclipse was Mars, which means war is coming. Now we need the people that are, if you believe the Bible at all, there is an Antichrist coming, and so they need to foment chaos. They need to cause a chaos because they believe in order coming out of chaos. They're going to cause so much chaos. It's going to look natural, and I'm going to talk about some of those things. And then they're going to bring this answer, and he's going to come on a white horse, and it's going to be looking like, oh man, it's it, And it's going to fool so many people, even Christians, which is crazy. So here is the first set of time frame with the parentheses, July 13th and August 11th. And now I want to move over, because we're past the eclipse, into this time frame in between here. I got to pull out my pen here, actually, which is right here. There we go. Okay. I should have had it already out. Whoop. All right, so we're looking at this time frame in between here. Now, when I first said in my first video, there's a time frame that is a key. It is a key. It is a key between the time that the Revelation 12 sign is and the birth of the church, or the birth of the bride of Christ. Be more specific. So I want to re-hit on that again. So November 20th, 2016 is when Jupiter entered the body, and then September 9th, 2017 is when Jupiter just crossed the plane, as you can see down here, crossed the plane here of the body, and that ends up being 293 days. Okay, now that's a very important time frame. Again, that's kind of like taking 923 and scrambling it to 293, which is a little bit easier to remember. Okay, so what I did, let me go back to here. What I actually did was, I was thinking, man, okay, if that's 9 months later, 293 days, and then we had 14 days later was July 13th, which showed you the beginning of the parentheses, and then the blood moon was after. Actually, the blood moon was after, which was the 14 days, which represents the Revelation 12 sign. My first video explains that, even if I'm kind of stumbling over myself. Then why is there a little bit more of a delay? Why haven't we gone into this? And then I went and revisited this idea of the birth of a man-child, which is in Leviticus. Okay, Leviticus 12, 1 through 4. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the people of Israel, saying, if a woman conceives and bears a male child," man, I'm so excited right now, "then she shall be unclean 7 days." So let's just take 7 plus. Okay, and then at the time of her menstruation, she shall be unclean. And on the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. Plus 1. Okay. Now again, it's a male child. In Revelation 12 sign, it says a male child. Now I don't believe it's a male child. It's not talking about Jesus. There's a lot of reasons why. It is a group of people. It's the body of Christ. But there's several reasons why it says a male child. One reason is because of this, and this is the Lord showing me. Because of this is a key again to what a male child must go through, and the woman must go through. The other key is in Hebrew, in Aramaic Hebrew, the male child name is Zakar, and that name is that name because it means the remembered ones who are marked. Okay, the book of remembrance is the faithful people. Okay, so the reason why it says male child again is because it's Zakar, and that's again referring to the male. The Bible is masculine in certain ways and feminine in other ways, and it's that way for different reasons. Sometimes the masculine is there to point out certain things, and sometimes the feminine is there to point out certain things. So here we have the circumcision of this 1 day, and then we add, and then she shall continue for 33 days in the blood of her purifying. She shall not touch anything, nor come into the sanctuary. Sanctuary, what's that? Come into heaven, until it's representing heaven, until the days of her purifying are complete. So that's 33 days. And that equals 41 days. Okay, now we take the 293 days that was in the Revelation 12 sign, the actual Jupiter in Virgo, plus 41 days equals 334 days. Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, let me show you something. Now you take 9/9, which was actually in the stars, was the birth. And then the Revelation 12 sign was 14 days later. Look at that. It's August 9th. Is that in between those parentheses of the blood moon and August 11th? Yes. Now, this is another added bonus I did not foresee. What does 334 mean in Hebrew? Because, of course, this is the woman. She has the 12 stars above her head, which represent the 12 tribes of Israel. This is showing that this is Israel, okay, having the male child, which is, the church was birthed out of Israel, okay? And that's where the apostles first were and everything, in Israel. So here we go. 334 equals 2 times 167. The primary significance is the divine bride. Can you believe that? Can you believe it? This is crazy. The divine bride. it blew my mind. And it's 2 times 167, which is 167 is a prime number. It's the 39th prime number. I won't get into all that, but there's more stuff there. If you understand a little bit of numerology, God's numerology, it's not some weird, demonic stuff. It's God's numerology. Certain numbers mean things. Of course, the Hebrew language is the most precise language because it's a precise mathematical language. All letters and words and sentences mean something, mean numbers, and those numbers add up to things, and it's pretty crazy if you look at it, if you know anything about it. Now back to August 11th. Okay. Now August 11th, like I said, this is another representation. I did show you something in Solarium in that application, or that app. This is a Mac application, and it shows the constellations, and it shows that August 11th, again, there's Cancer, and again, this is on August 11th, this is crazy. So the sun is touching the moon. Again, the sun means the light of the world, Jesus touching the moon, which is his bride, which is reflecting the sun and faithful. Okay, and then there's just a physical representation of the crab and his claw coming up, and see how it's in the claw. I mean, even though it's above it a little bit, but that's just a drawing. But you can see how it's pretty much in the claw. And I'm going to go back to my first video. The Cancer, the crab, means the possessions held fast. These are Jesus's possessions, the Messiah's redeemed possessions. Wow, if I can say that. Possessions. And then on the lesser constellations, Ursa Minor, Ursa Major, the lesser sheepfold and the fold of the flock. This is also, like I said, another way of looking at it is not just the Cancer, the crab, but also the sheepfold. So again, Jesus is the gate to the sheepfold, and when the sheep are in, he protects them. And this is another example of how to show that. And then this is absolutely crazy. Again, I'm going over this. The ship, the Argo, which is the ark. The redeemed pilgrim safe at home. So the ark is basically a certain time frame, and we are taken up in Jesus being the ark, or the Argo, the ship, at that time. Now listen, it may be a little bit later, it may be around the time, it may be a sign that shows it's going to happen very soon, but the timing of these days and everything, and August 9th, August 11th, we're right there. I don't know the day or hour. I can know the season, and we're right in the season. So it's exciting as far as this part goes. Okay, now again, between the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. Yesterday, I saw something that blew my mind, and that is this. I found out about this. If you don't know about this yet, you need to know. Right here is Hurricane Hector, and it's on collision course for Hawaii. And this is a picture of it on an app called windy.com, and there's other apps out there, Venture Sky, different ones that basically forecast what hurricanes are doing and weather's doing, and then kind of forecast it. Right now it's showing it's going to go touch it a little bit, going to go a little south, but I guarantee you this is going to direct hit Hawaii because I've been following, like I said in my second video, iPad Goat, some other things that point to Hawaii being a big catalyst for what's going to happen in these end times with the chaos, with the natural disasters. They look like natural, but they're not. And I'm going to get into more of that. But this is as of tonight, about 8 p.m., about an hour ago my time, something like that. And it's heading there. Now, when I saw this, I realized this is how they're going to do it. And I'm going to show you more details here. This is how they're going to do it. They're going to push it all the way over the line with this thing. And it's called a hypercane. It's a hurricane hyperactive, man. It's going to hurricane over an active volcano. Never happened as far as we know in recorded history. And this is, by the way, both the volcano and the hurricane Hector are both man-made. Why? That's a crazy statement. I'm going to show you. This is not just made up. This is real. There's lots of evidence for this, and I encourage you to look into this more. I'm going to leave some links in the description box. I'm going to actually leave a link to an article I'm going to show you here in a second, and some other things that you can look this up yourself. Okay, so I'm just showing you as of now. It's showing it's going to come in Thursday, the 9th, 9/9. Wow, did I just say something about 9/9? Yeah, the 293 days plus the 41 days equals 334 days added to the, sorry, it's 8/9. Sorry, it's 8/9, August 9th. I keep thinking 9/9. Added to the 9/9 of 2017 equals 8/9 right here, which is when it's forecasting to hit right here. Right now, or right here, it's showing Wednesday the 8th. Okay, because they don't know exactly how it's going to hit, but this is going to go right here, and it could be a category 4 or category 5, and then when it hits the island, it could go to a hypercane. This is all man-made. This is all man-planned with demons' help, and I'll show you why. Okay, now I showed you in my second video, iPet Goat 2. Okay, you have Obama's foot right here. This thing rolls, right? It rolls and hits off his foot. There's a lot of things going on there, but I wanted to show you here. This is a split right here, where it splits and opens up. I want to show you a little bit more detail here and why this is Hawaii and this is the Kilauea and the Hilina Slump, which I'll get into. Now look at this. Okay, hopefully you can see this. Right here is the volcano and the island right here, and it's brown. You can see this part is kind of yellowish, representing lava flowing, and this is erupting right here. Okay, and then it's splitting right here, and as you know, it's splitting right in a section of the island. You got the volcano, which we know the whole big island is basically like 4 volcanoes, or it's all volcanoes. I mean, all the islands in the Hawaiian Islands were made by volcanoes. They are the tops of volcanoes. And all the lava that came out and went like this basically formed the land. Okay? No, I've been there. Oh, the big island's amazing. So basically, it's going to split right here. They're showing this ahead of time. By the way, like I said, this was made in 2012. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you hearing me? Look at this. Okay, this is not a coincidence. Then over here is a big tsunami wave in the shape of a C, and it's got ridges and everything. Let me go back over here. Look at this. See these ridges right here? And when it opens up, you see this big tsunami wave. Okay? They need something to push it over the top, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Okay, so Hector is a Greek word, okay, and it's in the Iliad, Homer's Iliad. I read Homer's Iliad years ago. But Hector means to restrain. Now, immediately, listen, when I saw that this hurricane was coming, I knew that Hector meant something. I knew it meant something in their plans. I had no doubt. And then here I see it and what it means. You know why? I think I mentioned this. I mentioned this in my second video, but I'm going to mention it again. Look this up. On the East Coast, in September of last year, which is the same month of the Revelation 12 sign, these hurricanes are man-made. And one of the proofs of that, or several of the proofs of that, are there was 2 hurricanes, if you can remember, in September of last year, 2 hurricanes. One was Maria and one was Jose, and they were off the coast, East Coast, and they came together into one. Now, it just so happens to be those are the Spanish names. Maria is Spanish for Mary. Jose is Spanish for Joseph. Are you kidding me? Joseph and Mary got together. And then guess what? 9 months later, which is just this last month, look it up as well, Hurricane Chris. Okay? Chris actually means Christ. It's a derivation of Christ or Christopher. And Christ is supposedly who Mary's child was. But we know God actually, created something in Mary, and then she had Jesus, right? But in their eschatology, they have to put Mary and Joseph in this weird thing, and then it becomes Christ 9 months later. There's so much evidence that these are all man-made, these hurricanes, and I will put a link in the description box of, again, like I said on my second video, Geoengineeringwatch.org. The whole Earth is being geoengineered, and there's patents on all this. There's tons of evidence. And look at that website. Look at all the evidence of what they're doing. This is not just speculation. This is real stuff. This is real evidence, real facts. Look it up yourself. Okay, so I'm speculating on some of these things in here. Some of these things are absolute facts. Some of these things are speculation about what's going to happen exactly. I don't know. I'm just doing my best to speculate about what's going to happen. But there are facts out there that support some of these conclusions. Okay, so wait, let's go back here. So remember, to restrain. So Hector could be the restrainer. That's what it means. Hector is to restrain, the restrainer. If you're going to restrain, you are the restrainer. Remember in the Bible, 2 Thessalonians 2:7, for the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. This is what we're talking about. The mystery of lawlessness is already at work. These are the people behind the scenes that are doing these things to cause this chaos that's going to happen, and we're right on the edge of it. Only he who now restrains it will do so until he is out of the way. Now, I believe this restrainer that is talking about is the man-child, which is also the bride of Christ. So God is allowing the bride of Christ, who are really the faithful, to restrain the enemy. And then when the bride of Christ is taken out of the way, or the man-child that's represented as a man-child, but it's also the bride, which is all the faithful believers who are following Jesus, once they are taken out of the way, then evil will be allowed to reign. It says that in different places. In fact, and if you keep going in 2 Thessalonians 2 here, it talks about that. And then the lawless one is revealed, but it's already working behind the scenes until the restraint is taken away. So I believe this is their false, again, parallels here, this their false restrainer in a hurricane. And then once that's taken out of the way, which it'll hit Hawaii, causes chaos, and it'll be taken out of the way, and then here comes the birth, as in a huge tsunami wave that's like maybe the water breaking or something. It's really sick. It's really disgusting, these people, and what they come up with. That is contrary to what God's doing. But God knows it ahead of time, and he factors all this stuff in, and he says their plans. He knows the end from the beginning from the end. I mean, he knows it all, right? Because he's timeless. But this is crazy. What are the chances of this? There's no coincidence here. This is all planned. Okay, here's this article. Now, the reason why I picked this article is because I know a lot of these different factors, but this person lays it out, and it's something you can read. So I'm going to put the link in the description box below. Okay, so this is from exopolitics.org, and this guy, Dr. Michael Salla, he did this on May 15th, which is just a little bit after the tsunami blew for the first time, and he had been studying this for a while, and he put a lot of this stuff together, several things that I had found, but I just found this yesterday where someone put this all together, and it was awesome. So let me talk about this. So he says, a partial collapse of Kilauea volcano could trigger massive tsunami that would not only engulf Hawaiian Islands, but also devastate the U.S. Pacific coast, as well as the coastal regions of other Pacific Rim nations. The possibility that the Puna geothermal venture conducted fracking in a deliberate effort to secretly promote earthquakes to trigger such a collapse and thereby generate massive tsunamis deserves a critical investigation. I began my research with some history of the Puna geothermal venture, which began operations on the Big Island in 1993, which I know all about. I looked at this. This is absolutely true. I had verified it. It's worth noting that Kilauea volcano has been in a constant state of eruption since 1983. This is true. Since they've been drilling, they started in 1983, and then anybody knows history knows that this has been the most active volcano with lava since 1983 because they started drilling there. There's no other reason why. And that its East Rift Zone has been a prominent part of the lava flows that have destroyed local communities. These communities in this area know this, and he lives there. Okay, so we have Hawaii. Now, I want to show you this on Google Earth because you see the relief here, all around the island here. You see the relief. And then you see how this kind of comes down, this comes down, this comes down. These are thousands of feet here, right? Well, I want to show you, as I get into it a little bit more of the relief and the 3 dimensions here a little bit. Okay, so right in here, this is the volcano, Kilauea volcano, and then you have this dotted line, and then you have all these fissures. If you've been watching the news and know any about this stuff, these fissures have been going off, and this is like a perforation line right here. And since I've seen this, and I saw this, and them grow and all these added, I was thinking, and maybe it's the Spirit of God moving in me. Jesus has been sharing with me a lot of things. I'm like, something's not good right here. And then I looked into the Hilina Slump. It is right here, right below it. It just so happens to be right below it. Do you see the sheer cliff? Let me go back here. Do you see the sheer cliff? This is straight down right here. Do you see that? It is a drop off right here. And this has happened in the past. Chunks have fallen off in the past, and that's what it's saying. And I'm going to talk about this more here in a second. I'll talk about it now. While most assume that the earthquakes and Kilauea eruption are due to natural geological processes stemming from a hot spot deep under the Big Island of Hawaii, there is startling evidence linking human intervention to this recent wave of volatile activity. Examination of the fracking practices at Puna Geothermal Power Station, located at the same Puna region affected by earthquakes and volcanic activity, directly raises the strong possibility that the fracking was a direct factor in unleashing what is currently occurring. This is what's happening, people. I'm telling you straight, this is what's going on. What makes such a possibility even more disturbing is the background of the company that owns the power station, which is officially called the Puna Geothermal Venture. The company is financially connected to, guess what? Rothschild family. Anybody knows anything about the Rothschild family? They are the richest family in the world, and they are behind some of the biggest evil things in the world, including wars and all kinds of stuff. According to the military intelligence group QAnon, forms the leadership of a worldwide satanic cult covertly fomenting planet-wide catastrophes and wars to maintain global power. They are planning, I think this could be the first event of other things that are going to happen. Like I said in my second video, they're planning on attacking New York with a nuclear attack, which has resulted in a tsunami wave that's on our currency. I've talked about all this stuff. This is a big plan. This is coming for people who have eyes to see and ears to hear. So here it is again, a little bit more detailed, closer up. So as you see, these are gradual declines here. A little less gradual right here. But right here is a sheer drop off. This whole thing is called Hilina Slump. And again, it comes down here. This is the East Rift Zone right here. And it's dotted right here, dotted with all these fissures. And then you add a Category 4 or Category 5 with rains, heavy rains, and some landslides already happening from heavy rains. This is going. Okay, you don't have to believe me, but see what happens. Okay, just see what happens. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? This is ridiculous what they're going to do. And then, let me get into this. So this is what's going on. Here you go. So there's more evidence. So after that first volcanic happening on Kilauea on, I think it was May 3rd, just after that you had a 6.9 earthquake. And this is by satellite, and by the USGS shown that this whole area moved 2 feet. Okay, these different sections moved, and it was moved 2 feet in just a short time. That's substantial, and it is continually slipping. And in the past, this whole chunk has come off a while ago, but it has happened in the past. Okay. So let me talk about this a little more. The Hilina Slump on the south flank of the Kilauea volcano on the southeast coast of the Big Island of Hawaii is the most notable of several landslides that ring each of the Hawaiian Islands. These landslides are the means by which material deposited at a volcano's vents are transferred downward and seaward, eventually spilling onto the seabed to broaden the island. This is all a whole process. But again, like I showed in the Hilina Slump, that is a drop-off. And so that has the biggest potential for a tsunami because the distance it has to fall. Okay, this is all planned. What are the chances that the biggest drop-off is being perforated by lava, and then we have it hit by a huge Category 4, Category 5, or maybe even bigger, hypercane as they call it, going over an active volcano that's never happened before, a hurricane at 5 or 4 going, and then the winds and stuff will be just freakish. Kilauea's entire south flank, extending out to Cape, I don't know if I can even say the word, is currently sliding seaward, with some parts of the central portion overlooking the Hilina Slump, moving as much as 4 inches a year, but after that 6.9, 2 feet, and it's continued to move. I don't have the statistics on that right now, but it will move and it will collapse. Mark my words. Okay, the slump has the potential of breaking away at a faster pace in the form of an underwater landslide. In Hawaii, landslides of this nature are called debris avalanches. If the entire Hilina Slump were to slide into the ocean at once, it could cause an earthquake in excess of a 9 in magnitude, so a 9.0 in magnitude, and a mega tsunami. Previous mega tsunamis in Hawaii about 110,000 years ago, caused by similar geologic phenomena, have created waves 1,600 feet or 500 meters tall. That is huge. I've heard experts say as much as 2,000 feet high in that area, or 1,000 feet high. It would destroy all of Hawaii in a moment. Okay, I've seen animations of it. It's crazy. And then it goes across the Pacific at 500 miles per hour. And that's what experts are saying. And then it would hit the West Coast from all the way from Alaska down the West Coast to Central America and even South America. Who knows how tall it would be, but basically the whole West Coast of North America would be about 100 to 200 feet. That's their best guesstimate by using computer models and things. That is phenomenal. Some of the tsunamis we're aware of in Japan was just, I mean, it wasn't that many feet tall. I mean, maybe 20 feet, 30 feet. We're talking about 100 to 200 feet. Okay, this is, are you hearing me? Are you seeing this? Please, wake up if you're not. Please. And please send this to as many people as you can to make them aware. This is coming. This is coming. Okay, so the partial solar eclipse. Now, I want to take it down a notch. This gets my blood boiling. That stuff is just, it angers me to no end. But I want to get into some good stuff now. Let's get into the light side of the coin. Okay, now remember what I said about Cancer and the sun and the moon touching in the eclipse on the 11th, and what that means. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and that means we're going home. We're going to heaven here very soon. The people that have been faithful. Okay, I want to talk about something that happened about a year and a half ago. It was a partial solar eclipse. Now, my brother, and I mentioned in, I think, the first video, Earth the Spirit Warrior, he had a crazy experience with this. God showed him this. He had a dream and stuff. I won't explain it all. I have a link in the description box below. Please watch it. It's only about 10 minutes. He gives his account. But I have to put this in here because this, you need to hear this. This is mind-blowing. And this counteracts some of the negative stuff I just said, because it's horrible. The stuff I just said, I just want to punch a wall. I want to just cry for a long time. It's ridiculous. It angers me so much. So this is the good side. This is what we have to look forward to. So if we need to balance off this really bad stuff and the good stuff, what God's doing, and show also how amazing He is, how loving and amazing He is, and His whimsicalness and how He hides things. It reminds me of like a treasure hunt. I don't know, weird. It reminds me of the Goonies or something, and we're looking for One-Eye Willie or whatever. It's just crazy how He hides these little gold nuggets in different places, and I've experienced that in many ways. So in his experience, I'm talking about my brother, Earth the Spirit Warrior, without using his real name, I'm just going to talk about that, and you can check him out. There was a solar eclipse that happened on March 9th of 2016. Now, here's the path of the solar eclipse. Now, he looked into this. Again, I'm not going to tell the whole story, but I'm going to show you what this was, just because it's amazing. You need to see this. And I found a couple other things that I want to share with you. So he looked at the path of the solar eclipse, and then God kind of showed him, and He gave him a dream, and so that kind of led him to this area. Now look at this. See the path of the solar eclipse. See where the word says path of the total solar eclipse. Look right here. Right here. There's an arm with a hand, with a thumb right here. And a hand, fingers bent up right here. See fingers bent up right here? I'm going to zoom in on it. Don't worry. There is a thumb pointing to something. And more. This is crazy. And this path was showing you right where it is, right here, right in here. Let's go to the next slide. So look at this. Do you see this? Look at this thumbnail. A faint thumbnail right here. And look at the crease in the thumb. Look at the bend in the thumb right here. Look at these fingers bent up, like he's bent up his fingers and his thumb's pointing down at it. That is crazy. Now look down here. This is a crab right here. Look at this. This is a crab. And right here is his right claw, kind of towards his body. Okay, his right claw. This is what he was shown. I'm going to show you more here. So look at this crab, even more detail. It's in Papua New Guinea. It's just, look at this crab right here. Okay, so look at this crab right here. There's a crab. And then look at this big claw right here. It's like really close to his body. You can kind of see the top of it where it's connected to his body. And then here is his left claw. Here's his arm coming out. Now look at this. This is his claw right here with a point. And then this is where his pinches meet together. This little crack right here. It's crazy. Then let's move over here. Now let's look at the hand again, or the thumb. Look at the thumb. There's a thumb right here. There's a little nail. There's where the skin is bending. You got the oh man, it's crazy. The knuckle there. The fingers are kind of bent up like this. If you can see that, look for yourself. Look at it's over there. I mean, it's the Philippines. It's right across from the Philippines. Papua New Guinea is right there. Look for yourself. Look at it. Okay, so now let's go over to the image here. So you've got the thumb right here. Oops, a little wavy. And then you got the point of the claw right here with the open claw right there. Okay, there's something right there. What is it pointing to? Oh, it's like a treasure. What is that? Means something. Here we go. Are you ready? Palau. And immediately when I saw that, so there's the claw, end of the claw, and there's the big old thumb pointing to this. It's right in the middle. And guess what? What does Palau mean? I knew it meant something. Just like I knew Hector meant something ahead of time. And I looked it up. What does it mean? It means Palau means mansion. Are you following this? Are you crazy? This is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow right here. Look at this. John 14:2-3. In my Father's house there are many mansions. I was talking about the crab being the place where he keeps us in his claw or in his sheepfold. That's in heaven. When the tribulation's happening. Any of you know the Bible at all? Are you freaking out right now like I am? Are you kidding me? If it were not so, I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you in heaven. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. When he brings us there. Wow. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you hearing me? Are you seeing this? I hope you are, because this is phenomenal. I hope it makes your heart soar, because we need that kind of stuff for what's coming. We need our hearts to soar, and we're realizing all you that are faithful, and even some that aren't, turn away from the world. Turn to God. He is awesome. He made this. He did that. He did that. He did that. He's done so much. Problem is the world's so cynical and evil that a lot of people have forgotten. Or maybe they didn't really even know how good he was. Okay, so right in here is August 4th. Now, something might happen tomorrow. I don't know. I've told you from the beginning. I'm speculating. That is Obama's birthday. And I believe that's all false. Where he's born, guess what? Obama's born in Hawaii, which means something. All this stuff's about to happen to Hawaii. It's the center of the apocalypse. I'm telling you, wake up. And then the next thing is August 9th. And that was where September 23rd, the Revelation 12 sign, you had the 293 days plus the 41 days, will get you 334 days, and that gets you at August 9th. Okay, then you have the August 11th solar eclipse, which is in the crab claw. Right? Are you getting this? This is all the time frame. Like I said, I don't know what's going to play out, but right in front of our eyes on August 9th is probably Hurricane Hector hitting Hawaii. Now, if it doesn't hit Hawaii and nothing happens, I don't know what to say. But if it does, then what? Are you going to believe? Are you going to believe what God is doing and what the enemy is doing? Are you going to wake up if you are sleeping? Or you who have been faithful, are you going to rejoice, but then also help people that need help? I hope so. Hope this spurs you to do something right now. And share this with people. Please, I beg you, share this with people. I don't care how you do it. Share this with people. Talk to them. Share this video. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't need any credit. Who cares? Okay, moving on to this thing. Last thing I want to mention. Look at this. So if you basically take that actual eclipse that was on March 9th, and then you go 888 days, it is August 14th. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. Now, remember I showed you this stuff right here, and then right down here is August 14th. 14th. 888 days, if I can write here. That's Jesus' number, if you know anything about that. 777 is God's number, 888 is Jesus' number, and 666 is the Antichrist number. Now, I don't know if anything's going to happen there. Maybe that's the actual rapture. I mean, I don't know. All I'm saying is that's weird. Okay? We're talking about 3 days later. 3 is a crazy number too, but 3 means complete. 3 means complete. So, I don't know. But these are possible dates of things. So this could be when he comes. He shows a sign and 3 days later, and that's what it means. Who knows? Or there's stuff I haven't found yet. But I'm giving you some possible times here, and I'm not setting any dates or anything. I'm just saying we know the season, and this is the season. And when chaos happens and when this massive tsunami happens, then you'll know. If nothing happens, then you can call me a nutball. I don't care. I'm willing to take a risk. This is the only reason why I'm doing this, because I feel the Lord's showing me, and people's lives are at stake. And so I'm up in the ante with my own game. I have to put all my chips in. And if I lose, then so be it. You know, I'm going to win anyway. I'm going to be in heaven whenever it is, and we're so close. This is the 70th anniversary of Israel. We have so many things going on. I could spend another 10 hours in a video talking about all the different things, but I don't have the time. I have a job, I have a family and all that. And I just wish I had more time to do more, but I just don't. So I love you. I appreciate you. Please see this stuff. Study more. Look at this. And share this. Get this out to more people, especially people in Hawaii. Get them out of there. Tell them to take a vacation during this time. Even if this Hilina Slump doesn't happen, which I'm pretty sure will, but if it doesn't, they don't need to be there with the big old hurricane hitting them and a possible hypercane. Tell them to leave for a little while. Tell them to take a vacation. I know people. I know some people right that I know that have family there. I'm telling them, get them out of there. Please leave. Okay? Please, God, I just thank you for this. I thank you for this understanding. And I ask you to multiply this. I ask each person that sees us to share this with multiple people, please, to get this word out. And share it with many other channels, YouTube channels, and other people, whatever. Get this word out. I don't care. Just get it out. In Jesus' name, Father, I just thank you for this understanding and that it benefits people. And I ask you, all of you, to move forward with something. Do something with this. If anything, change your life for the positive. And please help somebody else and show them this somehow, or get this information to them. So thank you so much for watching. I love you all. God bless you. In Jesus' name.